Okay, so we will be discussing chapter 9. This is about correlation class. So at the end of the class, I expect that you will understand the principles of the different statistical techniques that measures and describe the correlation of variables. So in here, we will be talking about relationship among variables. Since sa t-test, both independent and paired t-test, we were comparing, 'di ba? Comparing two groups only. Kasi iba din yung testing for more than two groups. But let's just have the ANOVA sa ano na lang, sa research. Let's have the correlation this morning. Now, you have also to identify and supply the needed data in the formula according to specific statistical technique. We will also run the JAS program and come up with sound decision and conclusion based from the given data. So when you say correlation statistical techniques, we are measuring and describing here the relationship between two variables. So take note of that. We have two variables na kukunan natin, i-measure natin kung meron ba silang relationship or wala. Therefore, sa statistics class, if the t-test answers the question, is there a significant difference? This time, we will try to answer the question, is there a significant relationship? Okay? So I hope that is clear, class. Now, we have types of correlation coefficient, and that is dependent on the type of scales or type of data that we have. Now, if both data, since we are measuring the relationship between two variables, if both scales are interval or ratio, that's the time we may use the Pearson product moment. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the Pearson correlation. But ito yung ginagamit natin na parametric test if we have both variables na in scale or in ratio or interval. Now, if both scales are ordinal, ito naman yung non-parametric equivalent ni Pearson. We call that Spearman rank order. And then, meron din tayong if both scales are dichotomous. Dichotomous means we have like two sa measurement, like babae at lalaki. Dalawa lang yun, diba? And yung isang variable nakagroup din into two. Okay? So again, if both scales are naturally dichotomous, we can use the phi. And then one scale dichotomous and then the other one scale is interval or ratio, we may use the point by serial. So apat yan sila, class, for the testing of relationship, depending on the type of data that we have. Please be familiar, but I think I cannot finish everything this morning, so I might discuss only the Pearson product moment, which is the parametric test. This is considered the parametric test for the testing of correlation. So before we move on to the computation, let's talk about this first. Characteristics of a relationship. We are not just computing whether the variables have relationship or not, but we are going to describe the relationship also. So in describing the relationship, we have to identify its direction, okay? And the direction is observed on the sign of the correlation. Since we will have numbers here like the t-test, we get the t-score if we do the manual computation. This time for the Pearson R, we will be computing the R. Okay? We call that R. Kung sa t-test, it's the t-score. Sa z-test, it's the z-score. This time, we call it the R. And the direction of the relationship is again dependent on the sign of the R. Kasi pwede siyang positive and pwede siyang negative. So how do we describe the direction? If the result of the R is positive ang sign, it means there is also a positive relationship. Meaning yan, there is yung direct ang relationship niya when one variable increases, the other one also increases. Okay, so they are directly proportional. Again, kung tataas yung isang variable, tataas din yung isa, and the other way around. Kung bababa yung isa, ganun din yung isa. There will also be a decrease. So positive ang relationship niyan. Pero kapag ang computed R value has a negative sign, it means that there is a negative correlation. And pag negative correlation class, meaning yan, the relationship goes in the opposite direction, wherein as one variable increases, the other one decreases. So magkaibang direction sila. Ito yung tinatawag na direction of the relationship. So just look at the R score or the R value, whether ano yung sign niya, positive ba or negative. That's clear. Do you have questions so far? Wala. Okay, so let's move on. Ito yung tinatawag ko na R kanina. This is called the correlation coefficient R. Aside from the direction, it will also measure the strength of the relationship. Kanina na-discuss na ang direction ha, positive or negative direction. Later, we will discuss paano mame-measure ni R yung strength of the linear relationship between two variables. Now, unlike the t-score and the z-score na kahit ano lang yung value, si R value class, ano lang siya, between positive 1 and negative 1. Hindi siya pwedeng bumaba dyan, hindi din siya pwedeng tumaas sa positive 1. Nasa in between lang talaga ang value. Pinakamalaki na yung positive 1 and pinakamaliit na ang negative 1. And ito yung interpretations of the correlation R. If you get an exactly negative 1 na value, that means there is a perfect negative linear relationship. Perfect ang relationship ng dalawang variables natin, pero negative. When you say negative, diba? Negative ang relationship as one variable increases, the other one decreases. Okay? Now, you can also get values between negative 0.70 to negative 0.99, and that is a representative of a strong negative relationship. So, merong relationship dyan. Galing dito hanggang sa negative 1, merong relationship. Pero the strength of the relationship varies. Nagba-vary sila. Ito with moderate, strong, and perfect relationship. But then again, since ang sign nito ay negative, negative din ang relationship, opposite direction. But during computation, if you get this value, 0, exactly 0, it means there is no linear relationship among the two variables. Na pag naging positive yan, ay hanggang positive 1 pala. Ayan. So, hanggang positive 1 ha, there is a relationship. But again, just like sa negative na sign, the strength of the relationship varies. As you move up hanggang positive 1, lumalakas din ang relationship between these two variables. So, gagamitin natin yan siya in the interpretation of the results. Okay? So again, our Pearson product moment of coefficient of correlation R measures both strength and direction among two variables. And then, summarize natin, the values should be between positive 1 to negative 1. Both positive and negative 1 are described as having perfect relationship or perfect correlation. But if you get a 0 for the correlation R, then walang relationship between the two variables. Now, if you get more than 1 or even lesser than -1, then there must be something wrong with your computation. So that's how you know that your answer might be incorrect. Kapag sumobra or bumaba sa +1 and -1 respectively. Now, since Pearson R is a parametric test, just like our t-test, we have assumptions to be satisfied or to be met. So just like the t-test, we have to ensure that there should be a normal distribution of the collected data. Remember, when we use the just for the t-test, we do normality checking using the Shapiro-Wilk test. We are going to do that also for the Pearson R correlation. And then number 2, there should be linearity kasi si correlation kailangan linear yung yung graph. This is for the graph na if there is a perfect relationship, parallel silang aakyat. Okay? Linear yung pag-akyat ng kanilang values. Pag negative relationship naman, though the other one goes up, the other one goes down, but linear din. Linear ang pagtaas, linear yung pagbaba. Yun yung mga assumption na kailangan natin i-meet. And both independent and dependent variables should be ratio or interval. Since again, this is a parametric test, we should not use this if our data is nominal or yung tinatawag natin categorical data, or we should not use this also if your data is ordinal. Okay? So dapat ratio or interval lang talaga. Now, for the manual computation, we will be using this formula. If you're going to do manual computation, since may problem kayo with your gadgets, you can write all our formula in an index card. I think we have three muna kasi si z-test tapos na natin yung z-test. Sasali ko both independent and paired t-test sa finals. So we have one formula for the independent, one for the paired t-test, and then we have another one for the Pearson correlation. So for the Pearson correlation, again, we are computing for the R value. So the R value is equal to N times the summation of xy minus the summation of x times the summation of y. These two are different, ha? Different yan sila. Divided by the square root of the N times the summation of x squared minus the summation of x squared. So, nasa labas yung square niyan, ha? Times the N times the summation of y squared minus the summation of y, and then squared natin yung summation of y. So, ano bang ibig sabihin ng mga symbols na yan? Siyempre, the R is the Pearson correlation value. The N there is the sample size. That's the symbol talaga ng sample size. It's the letter N. And then, we have here the summation of xy. It is referring to the sum of the product of x and y. So the x and y, remember, we have two variables na hinahanapan ng relationship. So one variable will be named x, and then the one variable will be named y. And then if it is summation of xy, meaning we have to get the sum of the product, meaning imumultiply natin itong x and y. And then summation of x times summation of y. This is the product of the sum of x and the sum of y. Anong kaibahan nila neto? Itong summation of x and y, i-add muna natin lahat ng values sa x, i-add natin lahat ng values ng y before natin i-multiply. Ayan yung ito. Okay, itong summation of x, y, i-multiply natin isa-isa. If merong value na 1 dito sa x, merong value ng 1 din sa y. So, ang product niyan ay 1. So, ito yung tinatawag na xy. And ito yung i-add natin to get the summation. So, magkaiba silang Dalawa. Brown out. Okay. And then summation of x squared, meaning we have to square all the scores of the first variable. Okay? And then we'll get the summation. And that is also true for the summation of y squared. Okay? So let's have an example. Sa sample problem na ito, we have students as the respondents. And then what are our variables? The daily allowance, this will be our x. And then the GPA will be y. Therefore, what we are looking here is if there is a significant relationship between the daily allowance of the student to their grades, to their academic performance. Meron kaya? Yun bang malalaki yung baon, matataas din yung grado? Or wala silang relationship? Let's see. Ayun yung sinasabing kinukuhanan natin ng relationship class. So let's see later sa ating computation kung meron ba talagang relationship yung, yung baon nyo sa grado nyo. Okay? Ayan yung relationship habaka basig naglibog mo sa ginakuhaan ng relationship. Ito yung example. Check natin kung positive ba ang relationship. When I say positive, kung tumaas ba yung baon, tataas din yung grade. Kung negative ang relationship, it means na kung tumaas ba yung baon, bababa yung kanyang GPA. Okay? So wait lang ha. Let's write again since masyadong mahaba class. Yung formula nito, sulat muna natin dito sa sa gilid para we are guided kung ano yung gagawin. I cannot memorize actually the formula. I'm not doing manual computation. I always do like I use JASP or Excel for this. Anyway, let us write here. R is equal to N, medyo mahaba kasi ito, times the summation of XY minus the summation of X times the summation of Y divided by the square root, medyo mahaba, of N times the summation of X squared minus the summation of X tapos square natin minus yung bracket N times the summation of Y squared minus the summation the summation of Y and then squared. Yan. So, ano yung mga bagay na kailangan nating kunin? So, for the N, you just have to count kung ilan ito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, this is 10 ang total. Now, ang next natin kukunin, XY. Summation of XY, meaning i-multiply natin yan, class. Ano kaya ilalagay ito? Wait lang, I have limited space. Ito na lang ang XY. Anong ibig sabihin ng XY na yan? Multiply natin, 50 times 65. 50 times 65, that's 3,250. 70 times 70 is 4,900. 100 times 80 is 8,000. 120 times 82 is 9,840. 150 times 85 is 12,750. 175 times 87 is 15,225. And then 200 times 90 is 18,000. Tell me if I missed something sa pag-multiply ha. 250 times 92 is 23,000. 300 times 95 is 28,500. And we have 400 times 97. That's 38,800. Okay? And then, kung na-multiply na natin sila isa-isa, we will get the summation. Okay? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng summation of x, y. I-add natin silang lahat. So that's 3,500 plus 4,900 plus 8,000 plus 9,840 plus 12,750, 15,225, 18,000, 23,000, 28,500, and 38,800. So that's a total of 162 pala. 162,265. Ayan. So meron na tayong N, meron na tayong XY. Next, summation of X and then summation of Y. Meaning, i-add lang natin ito class. Summation of X. Add natin lahat. 50 plus 70 plus 100 plus 120, 150, 175, 200, 250, 300, and 400. So that's a total of 1,815. Let me know if I missed something sa pag-add ko. And then we have summation of Y. When you say summation of Y, you just have to add everything also for the GPA. So 65, 70, 80, 82, wait lang. So yan, 65, 70, 80, 82, 85, 87, 90, 92, 95, and 97. So yes, that's 800. Asan ang pen ko? Wala. Ayan, again, that's 843. So we have now the summation of the X and the summation of the Y. The next that we are going to get is the X squared. So dito ko ilalagay ang X squared ha. Meaning we will square each of the data there sa X natin. So 50 squared is 2,500. 70 squared is 4,900. And then 100, i-calculate pa dyan, no? 10,000. And then this is 120 squared. 14,400. 150 squared. 22,500. 175 squared is 30,625. And then 200 squared is 40,000. 250 squared, 62,500. 300 squared is 90,000. And lastly, 400 squared is 160,000. Tama ba? Oh, wala akong nalibat. Okay, so let's get the summation of this also. Summation of X squared. So we have 2, 5, 4, 9, 10,000, 14,400, 22,500, 30,625, and then we have 40,000, 62,500, 90,000, and 160,000. So this is a total of 437,425. Kindly check also there sa inyo if tama yung pag-add ko. Baka na may na-miss ako. And then, brown out. Sige, go. And then we have the y squared. Ganun pa rin yung gagawin natin. Medyo mahaba ang computation ng Pearson R class if we are doing the manual computation. Ay, parehas pala sila. May 80 squared ako kanina, wala. 6,400. And then 82 squared. 6,724. 85 squared, 7,225. 87 squared, 7,569. 90 squared, 8,100. 92 squared, 8,464. 95 squared, 9,025. And 97 squared is 9,409. So, let's get the summation of y squared also. So we have 4225, 4964, 6724, 7225, 7569, 8,100, 8464, 9,025, and 9,409. Okay, very good. Tama. That's 72,041. So ayan, I think we have completed the needed information, the needed data, and we may now start with our computation for the R. So n is 10 multiplied sa summation of xy. What was that again? 1,602. 265 minus the summation of x, that is 1,815, times the summation of y is 843. And then square root of the n, we have n here, so that's 10, times the x squared. Summation of x squared is 437,425. Okay. Minus the summation of x. The summation of x is 1,815. And then we are going to get the square of this. Okay? And I have limited space. I hope you can still see what am I writing in the screen. And then bracket, that's again 10. Summation of y squared is 72,041 minus the summation of y is 843. Then we are going to get the square of this. So we may proceed. 10 times 162,265 is 1,622,650 minus 1,815 times 843 is 150 1,530,045. Okay? And then divided by the square root of 10 times 437,425 is 4,374,250 minus 1,815 squared. Ay, kadag ko sa value. You have 3,294,225. Okay? And then, sorry. Did I place? Wala pala itong minus dito, class. This is multiplication here. Okay? Multiplication siya. Admit natin. And then multiplied to 10 times, what is that again? 72,041 is 720,410 minus the square root of 843. This is 710,649. Okay, let's proceed. 1,622,650 minus 1,530,045 is 92,605 divided by the square root of 4,374,250 minus 3,294,225. That's 1,080,025. Okay, times 720,410 minus 710,649. You know, 649. Hindi ko kabasa sa akong sariling isulat. So this is 9,761. Okay, continue. 92,605 divided by the square root of 10,825. Tama no, 10,825. Or nakulang ako ng zero dyan. Ulit. 4,374,250 minus 3,294,225. 10, kulang talaga siya ng zero. Sulat ko to ulit. 1,080,025 ito. Ayan. So, 1,080,025 times 9,761. Patas. Ano na natin? Scientific notation. 1.05 for 2403 times 10 raised to the power of 10. And then we'll get the square root of this. Let's get the square root of this. This is 102,674.8461. And then let's divide. The R is sa pataas-taas sa ato ang solving. We just need 2 decimal point places here. 0.90. Positive ha, positive 0.90. So again, that is the R for the computation. Positive 0.90. Kopihin niyo nga muna. Ewarag taas dyan kayo. Tell me if you are done so that we can proceed. Hindi na ba connection? Okay na? Delete ko na writing sa screen. So again, what we are looking here is if there is a relationship, ay wait lang pala, sige. If there is a relationship between daily allowance, sana all daily allowance 400, and the GPA, ang average na grade of the student. So, katry dyan ng 400 ang balance is kaadlaw ba? 400, 300, 250, 200, 175. Pila kayo balon ako sa una ba? Let's solve. Diriday ko. Kung ako ni, kung isa ko sa respondent mo ni akong balon, kung college ko sa isa kaadlaw. I don't think nag-exist pala siya karon. Amo, mamibaw namin sa inyong balay. Pero when we go back to school, let's see. Oh, sleepy. Tell me if okay na ha. Okay na? Wala gihapon sa kadaghan. Then na. Gagawa tayo ng ano nito class, hypothesis. our hypothesis will be null lang ang ilalagay ko ha. There is no significant relationship between daily allowance and the GPA of the students. Ito yung magiging ano natin. Ang tawag dyan. Hypothesis. Okay na. Sige. So this is our hypothesis. Let me clear the drawings. Yeah, the writings on the screen. And then, wait lang. Share ko muna ha. We have class here a table for the Pearson. Hanapin ko lang. Ay, mali. Mali ako na-open. Wait. Just like the t-test class, though hindi ko ito nasama sa aking slide, pero may table din tayo for the t-test. Ito yun. Ito yung table natin. Before tayo mag-describe ng relationship, we have to make sure first kung meron ba talagang relationship. Makita niyo? Sana makita niyo sa screen. Okay? So again, before natin i-describe yung strength and yung direction ng relationship, check muna natin kung meron ba talagang relationship. So itong table na nasa screen is called the table for the critical values for the Pearson R. So kagaya ito ng manual computation sa t-test class na i-compare natin yung computed R sa tabular R. Okay? Who can still remember sa manual computation? Ano nga yung ating decision rule sa manual computation? Kagaya kasi sila sa t-test. Yung sa t-test lang, computed T, ito computed R. Sige daw, kung napay naka-remember. Computed R, if the computed R is greater than the tabular R. Kagaya lang ito sa computed T is greater than the tabular T. What's the decision here? Ano nga yung decision natin? I-reject ba or i-accept yung null hypothesis? Hilahilag yung answer. Ano ba talaga? Accept or reject? The same in how computed R is greater than tabular R. Computed T is greater than the tabular T. What was our decision rule? P-value yun. P-value yung. Mamaya na tayo mag-talk ng P-value if mag-just. Okay, this is reject. Reject. Kung ito reject the null hypothesis. Ganun din dito ha. Reject the null hypothesis. Okay? Sige. So paano gamitin itong value for the R? Una, what is our hypothesis? Sinulat ko yun kanina. There is no significant difference between the yung GPA? The daily allowance Not difference, relationship. Bakit sinulat ang difference? Relationship yan. Between the daily allowance and the GPA, distract ko sa hilak na bata, of the students. Okay, so kung titingnan natin, my next question is this class a one-tailed test or a two-tailed test? Titingnan natin yung ating hypothesis. One-tailed or two-tailed? Okay. So, two-tailed kasi wala namang direction. Okay? Paano nga malaman kung one-tailed kapag may direction? Meaning, we will give favor sa isang variable over the other. Like, meron tayong comparing na mga na words like mas mataas yung isa kaysa sa isa na variable. Pero wala man. So, two-tailed test ito. Two-tailed. And then, I told you, if the significance level is not really given sa problem, automatically use 0.05. Tapos yung DF, degrees of freedom, the same formula. DF is equal to N minus 1. Bakit ito yung formula natin? Kasi one group lang naman tayo. I mean, one group of respondents. Though, kagaya nung sa paired t-test, ito, one group pa rin kasi the same respondents naman yung mga students na nandun. Dalawang measurements lang. Ang isa para sa daily allowance, yung isa para sa GPA. Pero the same person. So, isang group of respondents. Kaya itong formula na ito ang gagamitin. So again, gagamitin natin ito sa paired t-test and also the Pearson. Yung isang formula natin na DF is equal to N1 plus N2 minus 2, gamitin nyo ito sa independent sample t-test. Okay? Kasi dalawang groups talaga ng respondents yon. So yung DF natin, 10 yun, di ba? Yung N kanina, 10 minus 1. So this is 9. So we have 9 here. And then this one. So our tabular T here ngayon is 0.602. Yung na-compute natin kanina is 0.90. Tama ba? 0.90. Ayan, 0.90. So the computed R is, makikita natin, it's greater than the tabular R, meaning we are rejecting the null hypothesis. Pag ni-reject natin ito, ang ibig sabihin, merong relationship ang daily allowance and GPA of the students. Okay? Kasi ni-reject natin eh. So, tanggalin natin yung no. Accept natin yung alternative hypothesis. There is a significant relationship between the daily allowance and the GPA of the students. That's how you interpret the result of the R value. Okay? Sige. Questions? Before ako bumalik doon sa aking slide, since alam na natin na merong relationship, ang next natin na gagawin is we are going to describe the relationship in terms of strength and in terms of direction. Pero kapag class, in cases na i-accept natin yung null hypothesis, walang relationship, you don't need to describe you don't need to describe kung positive ba or negative, and yung sa strength niya, kung weak, moderate, or strong ba yung relationship. No need for that. Kapag ang result is i-accept mo ang null hypothesis. Ito lang kasi ni-reject natin. Meaning yan, merong relationship. So we need to describe the relationship. I hope that is clear. Kasi baka may makita ako na next time or sa exam, na inaccept nyo yung null hypothesis tapos dinescribe nyo pa, wala na nga siyang relationship. So no need to describe. Okay, so are we good with this now? Let's go back to my slide. Okay, so merong relationship according sa computation natin, meron. So let's describe. First, the direction. Ano nga yung sagot natin sa R value? Positive 0.9. Which means, since positive ang sign yan, the relationship, there is also a positive relationship. Okay, merong relationship ha, and the relationship is positive. Therefore, we assume that if the daily allowance of the student increases, since positive yung relationship, the GPA also increases. Yan yung meaning ng positive relationship na ito. And the other way around, vice versa din yan. Okay? So that's one. That's for the direction of the relationship. How about the strength of the relationship? Let's go back to the table. So this is positive 0.9. Saan ba siya mabibilong? Dito siya na belong. So tama na there is a positive relationship. And for the strength, there is a strong relationship between daily allowance and the GPA. Sana all. As the daily allowance increases class, mag-increase din yung grade ng student. And there is a strong correlation there. So talagang meron talagang relationship yung dalawa. But actually, since these are just hypothetical data, hindi ko din masabi na totoo to kasi ginawa ko lang naman yung data dyan. Pero sa set of data na yan, ayun yung result. My relationship, it's a strong one and it's a positive relationship. Okay? Sa conclusion yan siya nilalagay. Remember the table na, the usual table na binibigay ko sa inyo sa activities and sa quizzes. Ganun din yon. Lagay nyo sa decision rule yung decision rule na sinabi ko kanina, and yung mga sinabi ko na there is a strong relationship and then the positive relationship, and you are accepting the null, rejecting the null hypothesis. Sa conclusion yan siya nilalagay. Okay? So I hope that's clear. Any question? Meron bang gustong itanong? So let's use let's use the just. Let me see later if I still know how to use the Excel for this. Though parehas lang naman. Tsuran ko lang ha kasi para hindi ako mahirapan mag-encode nito sa Excel. Let's see. Yeah, kung merong relationship, Leslie, tatlo yung ilalagay. Kung merong relationship, ang direction ng relationship, and ang strength ng relationship. Kung walang relationship, wala ka nang ilalagay na direction and strength. Yeah, you have to state clearly also if you are accepting or rejecting the null. Kasi yung Excel ba't hindi nag-open? Ayan. Wait lang, let me drink water first. Okay. Ay, bakit merong data dito? Merong paired test. I need a new one. So this one. So I'll be encoding now the picture and then so let's encode and then let's see. So dito yung daily allowance. And then ito yung ating GPA. So 50, 70, 100, 120, 150, 175, 200, 250. Pwede ko palang kopyahin yun. Anyway, start ko na siya. 250, 300, and 400. So we have a total of 10 students here. 65, 70, 80, 82, 85, 87, 90, 92, 95, and 97. Okay? Let me check first if I know how to do the Pearson R here. Saan ko nga yun makikita? Ko siya makita here. Statistics. Ayan. Pag hindi niyo siya makita, select here sa category statistical and look for the Pearson. Ayun, Pearson. Ayan. Pearson product moment correlation coefficient. And then array 1, syempre, the daily allowance. Wait. Okay. Ayan, highlight mo siya, just like yung ginagawa natin sa t-test. And then sa array 2 will be the GPA. Ayan. And then click OK. Okay? So ito na ngayon yung R. Ayan. So tama, yung ating manual computation and yung sa ating Excel, ang binibigay is the R value. That's 0.90, magkapareho sila. Tama yung ating ginawa sa manual computation. And since R value ang binigay dito, you have to follow the decision rule na binigay ko just a while ago. Okay? So, unlike the t-test, ang sa t-test kasi sa Excel, di ba, ang binibigay is the p-value. Ito, for the Pearson, the R. R ang binibigay, hindi yung p-value. So, you have to use the table. And you are allowed to do that class sa exam. I mean, you are allowed to use the table during the exam. Kasi mabuang tanig, ipamemorize na ito ang table. Dapat table sa t-test, may table pa sa R value. Nasundan ba yon for the Excel? For tayo mag-move on sa ating JASP. Para alam niyo din kung saan siya makikita sa JASP. So ito yun ha, ito yung sagot. The R. Tama, positive 0.90. So, ang next natin gagawin is to save this. Save natin siya. And let me just write Pearson. And then remember, do not forget to save the file CSV as CSV. Okay? Sige. So, na-save na yon. And then, let's open JASP. You can ask questions if you have questions or hindi nasundan, masyado akong mabilis. Sabihan niyo ako. Sana? Tagal lang JASP ma-open. Wait lang talaga. Ayan na. Na-open na siya. Tapos nag-hang. Ay. Sige, let's do it sa just class. So the same thing, you open here the file. Where did I place it? Sa, ano, sa pharmaceutical statistics. Hang lagay. Mabigat kasi ang just mo. Hang laptop. Okay, and then I named it as Pearson. This one. And then let's import the data. Okay, so we have here now the daily allowance and the GPA. Let me just check. So yes, this is, bakit naka-ordinal yan? Naka-scale dapat ito. Ito naka-scale din dapat. Okay, both of them are scales. These are true numbers. And let's do the Pearson R. So saan natin makikita ang Pearson R sa JASP? Dito sa regression. Ay, no. Wait lang. Descriptive, ANOVA, mixed model. This one. Yeah, correlation. Ito. Sa regression ha, sa tabi ng mixed models, you can see there the regression and then click correlation. Ayan, correlation. And then, we will be transferring the variables, the daily allowance and also the GPA. So, let's see. We have here the Pearson R, 0.902. Tatlong decimal lang yun. Kanina nag-compute tayo 2 decimal, but nevertheless, they are still the same. So, manual computation, the Excel, and even the JASP, parehas yung ating Pearson R. Yung R value natin is still 0.90. So, ano yung nadagdag dito? It's the p-value. So, sa baba, you can see class, the p-value. Okay? And, hindi natin kailangan yung table dito pag may p-value tayo. Yung ating decision rule, the same thing. Sa sa t-test. Type ko ha. Gagamitin natin yung p-value. So, if the p-value is less than 0.05, reject the null, null hypothesis. Again, if the p-value is less than 0.05, reject the null hypothesis. And as you can see in the screen, it's less than 0.001. That's less than 0.05. So yes, just like sa manual computation and sa Excel, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. There is really a relationship between the daily allowance and the GPA of the students. If you want to simplify the table, you may click display pairwise. So para naka-pair na agad silang dalawa. Okay? Ibibigay na kaagad yung Pearson R and yung p-value. Okay? So, ang i-click ko? Display pairwise here dito sa additional options. So, kung nakikita niyo sa left side, yes, naka-Pearson's R yan siya. Yan yung test for correlation, a parametric test, if the given data are scale data. You may also do assumption checks, like this one, the Shapiro, pairwise normality. Okay? So, ganun pa rin yung pag-interpret. If the p-value is 0.05, then the distribution is normal. Kaya lang, as we can see here, the p-value is 0.03. Mas mababa siya sa 0.05, no? So, accordingly, hindi daw normally distributed yung nakuha natin na data. Meron siguro doong mga outliers or extreme values. Actually extreme nga talaga yung values kasi 'di ba yung pinakamababa na daily allowance is 50 and yung pinakamataas is 400. Medyo malayo sila with each other. Therefore, kaya ito hindi normally distributed. So kapag ka ganito class, if you experience this type of data, hindi pwede si Pearson R. Though nag-compute na tayo ng Pearson R ha. Just want you to learn there the process. Pero kung sa totoong research ito, we will not use the Pearson R and click that one and click the Spearman's Rho. Okay? The Spearman's Rho is the non-parametric equivalent of our Pearson's R. And ibibigay niya class itong p-value, ganun pa rin naman yung decision rule. Pero instead of the Pearson R, ang ibibigay niya ay Spearman's Rho. Kaya nga lang, wala na akong time. Sa research na lang natin i-discuss yung manual computation ng ating Spearman's Rho. Sa kasi sa just, makikita na natin ang p-value agad, magkakaroon na tayo agad ng decision. Pero how about yung walang just? So, kailangan natin mag-discuss din ng manual computation ng Spearman's Rho na ito. So, bakit tayo nag-Spearman's Rho? Kasi during the assumption check, hindi normal ang distribution of data. Kasi ang decision rule nito, kagaya lang sa t-test, na the p-value, if the p-value is more than or greater than 0.05, the data set is normally distributed. Pero hindi kasi siya greater than 0.05, so hindi siya normally distributed. Hindi natin satisfy yung assumption. Nakuha ba yon? Do you have questions? Baka may gusto kayong itanong. Wala. So, class? Meron talagang mga researches. Maraming researches na hindi descriptive comparative yung research design. Meaning, hindi nagko-compare ng variables. Instead, ang hinahanap relationship. I just don't know with your high school research kung meron sa inyong naka-encounter na relationship ang hinahanap, hindi nagko-compare. So, kapag ganon, you just have to make sure first na your data set are both interval or ratio and normally distributed. You can use the Pearson R. If not, use the Spearman Rho, which is the non-parametric equivalent of the Pearson. Okay? Now, I don't have time. What time is it? It's 10:17. Since I don't have time, this will be your assignment na lang. Okay, sige. I'll just contact you. I'm not yet done sorting all the submissions. Sige. Again, this will be your assignment and then kailan ang deadline? After the exam na lang, you concentrate first sa exam ninyo. Mag-study kayo. Tapos gawin nyo ito. Pahabol lang na assignment sa finals. So, set ko yung deadline nito after the exam. Okay? Para hindi siya, para mag-study lang mo. Walay requirement. Sige. We have here a group of researchers conducted a survey on awareness and practices of residents in a certain barangay in a certain city towards COVID-19 using a standardized survey questionnaire. So ano yung problem natin dito? Gusto nilang tingnan kung may relationship ba ang awareness and practices towards COVID-19. Example, may measure nila yung awareness sa COVID-19. Gaano ba ka-aware yung mga tao sa lahat-lahat ng information about COVID-19. And then gusto nilang malaman kung may relationship ba yun sa practices. Practices when it comes to like yung pag-prevent ng transmission. Nagwe-wear ba sila ng mask? Ano pa yung mga pinapractice natin to prevent transmission of the virus. So yun yung gusto nilang malaman, kung mataas ba yung awareness, very aware, very knowledgeable sila sa COVID-19. Mataas din ba yung practice nila sa mga yung mga methods of prevention. So ganun yung problem na ito. So kung titingnan natin yung kanilang conceptual framework, the independent variable will be the awareness. Okay? Yan yung minamanipulate sa data. Tinitingnan natin gaano ba sila ka-aware. Tapos, i-check natin kung may relationship ba dito sa practices. So kung i-check din natin ang mga pwedeng or possible research questions, we have here, what is the level of awareness of the respondents on COVID-19? Tapos number 2, what is the level of practice of the respondents on COVID-19? So that's awareness, and then we have here the practice. And then the question number 3 goes like this: is there a significant relationship between the level of awareness and practice of respondents on COVID-19? So this one is an example of a non-experimental descriptive correlational research. That's the research design, correlational. Kasi yung sa t-test dati, ang research design, non-experimental descriptive comparative design. Ito, correlational. Nagko-compare kasi tayo sa t-test. Ito, correlational kasi ang hinahanap natin, relationship. Gusto nating malaman here, class, na kung tumaas ba yung knowledge or yung awareness nila sa sakit or sa virus, tataas din ba yung pag-practice nila dun sa mga sinet na ng ating IATF para ma-prevent yung transmission. So since this is asking about the significant relationship, we may use the Pearson product moment correlation here to test if there is really a significant relationship. So I will upload this one sa Schoology, and then I will give you the hypothetical data. Hypothetical lang kasi hindi ko naman ito kinandak. Hypothetical data, and you will be testing it. It will be in the form also of the table. Yung pagsagot nyo dito sa assignment, naka-table pa rin. Nakagaya ng quiz natin kanina na you have to write the problem, you have to identify the DF, the significance level, and then you have to do the statistics. If you're going to do the manual computation, please show your solution. If you're going to use either the Microsoft Excel or the JAS, please do have a screen recording of you processing the data using the softwares. Okay? And then you come up with a good conclusion based on the decision rule that we have. So again, the deadline for this assignment will be after the exam. You concentrate first sa exam and process this data after para hindi siya maging sagabal sa exam niyo. Okay, do you have questions? Again, i-upload ko ito and then isasama ko yung data. Wala. Hindi na ako magdi-discuss ng Spearman rank. May 3 pa ito. We will have this sa research na ninyo. Okay? Hindi ko lang alam kung matutuloy. Ever since I am the teacher sa research naman ng pharma, so kaya pag hindi ko natapos ang stat, tinutuloy ko siya sa research. Kasali. Kasali yan siya sa exam. So yung exam ninyo sa finals will be independent t-test, paired t-test, and the Pearson correlation. 3 yun. Okay? Wala nang gustong i-clarify.